No, Hunter, don't plug the podcast.
Wait a minute. You have a podcast? Yo, I can't believe that Chaotic Ether has a podcast. Isn't that crazy? And can you believe that we're on 68 episodes of said podcast? You should all subscribe to said podcast. And this definitely isn't a bit, and I'm definitely being serious.
He checks in the mail him now.
Really good.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the HGO podcast, the official podcast of the 1545 marathon, apparently. I'm your host for today, Ethan, and joining me on this nice episode, we've got a double bill of memes to say at the start, is the lads, Hunter and Kyle. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hello.
I'm doing just swell.
Yeah, it's good to be here on the 69th episode of Hot Gamers Only. Some might say the hottest episode. It's not true.
Yes.
Yeah.
The hottest topic we have, news.
The hottest topic, let me look at my card, Skyward Sword and Persona. So if you like Skyward Sword, come on in, and you probably like Persona because if you listen to this podcast, we've rambled about it enough. The only way it would be a better feature is if we also had Devil May Cry, then we'd be fulfilling the entire quota of the audience then. But no, alas.
I'm sure we could bullshit
let's talk
something.
about how nice it is to play as Dante and Virgil and Marvel vs. Cat.
Yeah,
Virgil's
no.
busted.
Yeah, welcome back to the HGO podcast, where every week we talk about everything that we love in the world of gaming, podcast services, yada yada. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/hotgamersonly. We have that link now. Go and click it, watch it, and why not? I guess we should start by talking about the 1545 because that's happening as we're recording. I've had my run. Yours is tomorrow. We're right in the middle. So.
Yep. I unfortunately can't say anything about my run, but I'm just gonna say I can't believe Tiny did that to me.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe it.
I had a good Tiny. I genuinely had a good Tiny. And I also had a good time, man.
Your final platform's gonna be the top left.
The top left?
I can't watch yours
If
tomorrow.
you get that,
so
if you get that, I'm gonna
If you
be
get
mad.
that, I'm gonna be very mad.
If I would get that,
because top left
when I'm
platform
not even
sucks.
But no, yeah.
Hunter, can you guess a better platform?
No.
My second guess would be middle right.
Mid right, cool.
Okay, there you go, I guess. But yeah, so for those of you who are unaware, the 1545 is a marathon that both myself and Kyle have taken part in right now, I guess. If you want to catch the VODs, you can do. I've uploaded on my personal channel my POV, and I'm sure if it's good, Kyle will do the same. If it's like...
I'll probably record mine.
Yeah, if it's a tragedy and you lose like 20 minutes to Tiny, then it might not be up. But hey, otherwise, hopefully it'll be up. But no, I'd recommend you go and watch it because it was the biggest shit post I've ever experienced in my life. It was great fun.
It was really fun.
I really do want to give... I said I'd give them a shout out, so I will give you guys, all my guys on Team Purple, a shout out. I want to give Hypno a shout out for literally advertising me every hour on stream. Thank you, Hypno. You're an absolute champion. Stu, Ad, Rob, Schlongster, everybody, man. Everyone that's a part of Team Purple. You go. You've been great fun, and thank you for hanging out with me, especially you six, because you guys hung out with me for the entirety, well, for the most of my run. You were in and out, but hey, it's the thought that counts.
Well, speaking of Team Purple, is the curse being broken?
I think we're in like fourth at the moment, so I guess because Team Purple usually comes last, so I guess the curse is broken. The main problem is that
it was because of the strong start.
The teams are so imbalanced that Team Orange can literally go and drive all the way to Chipotle and still come in first place. But that's just how it falls. But yeah, be sure to go and check them out. And I want to give a huge also shout out to the 1545 team, everyone, the staff running it, because not only have they done a really good job of hosting it, but they've also allowed the shit post that has been advertising this podcast to carry on. They haven't told me to stop. They even added it as a command in the actual chat. So,
oh my god.
That's incredible.
If you type an _podcast on their Twitch chat, it says, "Have you listened to the podcast?" and it has a link to the podcast, so it's all good.
Oh,
fun.
That's so good.
But yeah, thank you to everyone that's been organizing it. Thank you to everybody on my team. You've been great, and I'm sure Kyle's team is also cool.
I want you to know that the podcast joke has bled into my group too. So
have you mentioned that you're on the podcast?
I did. Yeah,
okay,
the first time it got brought up, I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm here too. Dab.
It's also my
It just makes me laugh because every time that they mention it, they say Chaotic Ether's podcast, and there's a part of me that's like, it's not just my podcast, but at the same time, I'm also doing like the cheers, like self-esteem, like it. Yeah, there you go, boost my ego more.
Hey, I don't take any credit for this podcast. I don't do anything to help the channel.
I still give Hunter the credit because even though I do all of the technical stuff and upload it and do all the editing, Hunter was the person that dragged me into doing the first episode in the first place, so we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, Hunter. So well done. And even though
I just showed up in like the 7th episode and people just never got rid of me.
Play video games. Also, if I don't play video games in a given week, everything falls apart.
Yeah, true. That is a very true thought. But yeah, also shout outs to Hunter because this whole little inside joke started with him typing in !HGO in my chat, because when I said, oh guys, well, listen to my podcast, everyone thought I was joking until Hunter actually posted the links in the chat, and then everyone was like, oh, I see, that's the thing we're going to meme about for the next 48 hours. So
3 days.
Yeah. And finally, if you know where Michael is, let us know as well, because apparently Michael is missing, and I've just dropped my pen. But with
Michael is missing.
But no, shout outs to all the 1545 people.
Sequel to Mario is missing.
Yeah, it's true. Michael is missing. You've all been cool, and thank you for letting us shit post as much as we have, because man, has it been funny. But no, everyone's been really cool. Anyway, speaking of cool people, Hunter, you've been playing Skyward Sword. I feel like we'll get the first impressions of Skyward Sword out of the way first, so that the Zelda fans can be happy and walk away, and then the Persona fans can stay and talk with us about our tinfoil hat theories of what these 7 fucking announcements are. I hope you've got your tinfoil hats ready, because we're going to go down a wild ride on that one. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then, hey, maybe we'll talk about Kyle playing, I don't know, Genshin or something at the end, so that Kyle feels like he's included in the podcast. Why not? But anyway, Skyward.
Hey, dude, I'm just here for fun.
Hey, and that's all that matters. It's the taking part that counts.
I'm earning this participation grade.
Exactly. It's like school. You've just got to show up. You don't have to do anything else. You just show up and you smile and wave. That's about it. So, Hunter, you've played... How much of Skyward Sword have you played?
Like 2.5 hours. I got right out. I'm right before the first dungeon.
Okay.
I didn't get to
actually
put that much
time. And I feel
yet, but...
we should specify your history with Skyward Sword. I feel like that's a good place to start. So what's your history with Skyward Sword? Go on a monologue of how you like this game.
I do like this game. It was a birthday present all those years ago. Came out literally the day before my birthday. It was great.
It was fate.
And so yeah, I played it, the original version, really enjoyed it. It was my favorite game in the series until Breath of the Wild came out. And I haven't played it since I was in high school at some point. So now that I've played it again, oh man, I'm enjoying it. Just hearing the music again made me feel things. It was wonderful. Like every time I walked out to a new area, I'm like, oh, I do remember this song. Amazing.
I'm just going to say this right now. As you carry on, can you turn your webcam on and off? Because it's a bit laggy. And I just want to make sure. Because I just want you all to know, video listeners, that sometimes Hunter's webcam lags. And I feel bad because you probably think it's me doing a lazy lip sync, but it's not. Hello, Hunter. Oh, now it's even further delayed. It's fine. Just deal with it. Literally.
What?
It's like 65 minutes delayed.
Well,
but it's fine.
5 minutes.
Oh man.
It's
Okay.
really bad. So I'll just put an image up on screen over Hunter's face. It's fine. We'll just put Skyward Sword gameplay over it. No. I'm not doing that.
Go Team Purple.
Go Team Purple. You should check out my podcast. It's pretty great. Anyway, Skyward Sword.
This is getting too meta. We're advertising the podcast on the podcast.
Stop.
As far as the controls and stuff go, I feel like the way the sword controls and all that, it is pretty functional. Like, it works about as well as I imagined this control scheme would.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is some people, I guess, were a little thrown off by the fact that so if you wanted to swing right, it's like a stroke to the right. So it's not just an attack at the right. He starts at left and then goes right.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that was throwing some people off because of the way that, like, the Bokoblins block and stuff. So if they block to the right, you have to hit to the right because the left side is where Link starts. But
okay,
I caught on to
like
that
high IQ players.
Yeah, Skyward Sword's combat is pretty deliberate as opposed to the rest of the Zelda series.
Are you playing with the stick controls, or are you just doing the motion?
No, I'm doing the analog stick.
Okay. So I've heard some interesting things about the stick controls.
Yeah, I think it works fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little weird. Okay, so the right stick on its own just controls the sword. There is 3D. There is like the controlling the camera now.
They added camera.
You have to push in the L button to do that. And if I were making this little port, I would have flipped that, where L is how you do the sword, and just moving the stick is the camera.
With motion controls, we should add with motion controls, because the right stick is always free. You always control the camera with that right stick on motion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And from what I've heard, a lot of people are saying that they like the motion controls more, which is making me laugh a bit. It's like people have been praying, they're like, if you do Skyward Sword again, don't make us use motion controls. And as soon as they give them actual controls, I'm like, take it back. I'll use the motion controls. Give me my
hilarious.
Give me my Joy-Con. I'm gonna waddle it everywhere. Let's go.
It's almost like there was nothing wrong with the original game in the first place.
Almost. Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, there was something wrong. They weren't amazing motion controls, but they did the job, right? They weren't
they worked better than people said they did.
I didn't run into issues with the motion controls in Skyward Sword. I'm not saying they didn't happen, but I'm not gonna conjure up some kind of mystical bad juju that happened to me while I played it, because it's not what happened to me. So as far as I'm concerned, Skyward Sword had the best motion controls on the Wii, because
it really
the actual control scheme was good.
Anyway, where were we? We drove us off topic. Swinging sword with Link. Righty lefty, lefty righty, swing the sword, swing the stick.
Yeah. So
am I helping?
I was expecting a rhyme. I'm not gonna lie.
My brain is not that high functioning at the moment, unfortunately.
Outside of that, what else is there to mention?
Visuals. How are the visuals looking?
So
is it an improvement? I'm sure it is, because like the original was in like 480p.
An improvement for sure. It looks a little like before, when they showed it for the first time on the Direct or whatever, we were like squinting, being like, this doesn't look any different. So it does look different enough for me to actually notice now. I'm not gonna say it's like it doesn't blow you away, like say the difference between Wii Twilight Princess and Wii or Wii U Twilight Princess, but you know,
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice the differences with those either. I feel like, I don't know, looking at Zelda from the outside, I could tell the difference between Wind Waker and Wind Waker HD just because of the blue. That one was obviously
Wind Waker
really
HD
obvious.
was really shiny.
Yeah, it was really obvious. Twilight Princess, I looked at it and went, like, it's like that fucking Pam fucking meme from The Office where I'm like, it's the same picture. It's the same picture. It just looks a bit high def. And I feel like the version
of Twilight Princess, the visuals, the Wii Twilight Princess seemed really blurry to me, probably just because of their like art design choice there, being
that game was so dark.
It's gonna
just
be
like color wise,
dark colors and gloomy. And I feel like in the HD version, they at least had things pop enough to stand out a little bit.
Yeah. One thing I do like about what they've done with the Skyward Sword visuals, from what I've seen of early gameplay, I've not bought it, but I've been watching some people play it, is they've gone all in on the kind of watercolor painting kind of aesthetic of the visuals. Yeah. Even to the point where, in the distance, instead of having the FOV be where it blurs everything out in the background, it kind of looks kind of blotchy, as if it's like paint blobs like everywhere. Like you can, they've really gone all in on the like watercolor aesthetic. I think it looks nice.
I do appreciate it. Yeah, like I've really liked the watercolor kind of look before. Anyway, it's kind of like, it seemed like the step in between what they wanted for Breath of the Wild and like. It's like the in-between step between Wind Waker and Breath of the Wild, almost.
I mean, it's like, it was the third game. When you think about it, the GameCube and the Wii were basically the same fucking console, like, in terms of power and performance. So, when you think about it, it was like the third game on the same kind of hardware. And they were like, we want to change the art style, but we're still limited on the same technology we made Wind Waker on. And it's like, yeah... I can see where they wanted to go, and I'm sure it would have looked vastly different if it was made for Wii U. I'm sure, but I can see where they wanted to go, and you can very much see, like a lot of things in Skyward Sword, you can see where they wanted to go with Breath of the Wild, and you can see the roots of Breath of the Wild very clearly in it.
The item collection for the upgrades, the stamina meter was first implemented there.
Mm-hmm. We should probably mention some of the little quality of life things that they've done.
All right.
Like
Fee
how
doesn't
people
bother you anymore.
Not just Fee, a load of characters. If they're to do with like a side quest or something like that, they have a little exclamation mark on top of their head instead of bugging you every time for the most part, which I have noticed.
Oh yeah, they've got like the little 3 dots.
No one's stopping you every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They also fixed the bug where every time you reloaded your save, every time you picked up an item for the first time, it would give you the entire description.
Yeah,
now it just tells you for the
that
first
wasn't
time.
a bug. That was a feature.
That was just something that they did, which alone will bring the hour or like the game clock down like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. And also, game has auto saving and 3 slave slots, which is nice.
I do believe it had 3 slave slots.
It did.
Before,
okay, right. So it also has auto save. They've added auto saving then. That's the thing. I was like, they added one or the other. I just don't know which one it was originally there. So there you go.
Yeah.
And also you can
like,
skip all the
games come
cutscenes.
with,
So speedrunners are probably having a field day. They're like, cutscenes can be skipped, and we don't have to listen to the shit that all these NPCs say anymore. Let's go.
Now they just need to find the back in time glitch, and they'll be all set.
They just have to, and they have to find the elusive Loftwing amiibo as well, and then they'll be all set.
All right, the $30 entrance fee to run the game.
Not $30 anymore because they've not made many of them.
Not.
It's Scalper Central, dude. They cost like $50 or $60 now.
And we only sold them at the Nintendo store in New York.
Ouch.
And all the orders,
fuck yourself.
And all the orders didn't make it on time because they didn't make enough of them. So they're like, some of you will get it on the release date. The rest of you, maybe August. I don't know. See you then.
I love Nintendo.
It's great fun, dude.
It's a shame too, because that's a really nice looking amiibo.
It is a really good looking one. Like all of the like Zelda series ones, like aside from like Link's
Piss Tinkling.
All of like the Breath of the Wild amiibo looks really cool. The this Loftwing one looks really good. Ever since amiibos have gone from the gimmicky kind of look at all the skins you can get in Mario Kart 8 to now they seem more like collector's figures that sometimes have a use in a video game. Ever since they moved to more like collector's figures, the quality is so much better. I mean, looking at the Smash Bros. Figures now compared to the Smash Bros. Figures when they originally came out is like night and day. Looking at the Joker and the Terry and the Byleth amiibo, like the Banjo amiibo, like honestly, night and day. Which has me excited for the rest of the amiibos coming. Dude, imagine what Sephiroth is gonna look like.
The sword is just poking out of the box.
I think the Aegis one's going to be interesting. Are they going to do 2 separate ones? Are they going to try and cram them both on one? Are they only going to do Pyra or Mithra and piss half the fan base off? They're just going to make a giant
one that fits both of them.
Just the statue with an MFC chip in the bottom that they already make. They're just like,
those were good looking statues too.
Yeah.
It's a shame again. Scalpers got them.
Yeah, true.
And also they cost like $200 to begin with, but that's neither here nor there.
Tomato, it's fine. Scalpers get everything these days. But no,
maybe the real scalpers are the companies only making 10 of them.
I honestly thought you were gonna say the scalpers are the friends we made along the way, and I was gonna be like, oh my no. But what was I going to say? I was going to get us back on track. I'm going to obviously ask you for your final thoughts and opinions in a second. But one thing I will say is I kind of do want to apologize to Nintendo for the way that I've spoken about Skyward Sword HD in the past. I still think the Loftwing amiibo is a pile of shit, and that's a really scummy move.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. That's like a feature that should be included.
I still feel charging £50 or $60 is also a stretch, and it should be 40 or 50 because it's a remaster. But when I remember originally seeing it and going literally like, fucking, it's the same photo, where are the fucking differences? But there are some genuine quality of life improvements here that they didn't have to make. They didn't have to make a working camera, because knowing Nintendo in the past, they wouldn't have done that.
I fully expected to just have to constantly recenter myself with the target.
And they didn't have to make it so that you could mash through text boxes or skip cutscenes or not be pestered by annoying fucking alerts every 5 minutes. But they did. And the UI, they basically redid the whole UI. They did a lot of things, and fair enough. Is it still too expensive? Yeah, I think it is, but I feel like people gave it a bit too much shit than they actually deserved. But that's from my perspective. Hunter, as someone that likes Skyward Sword, what are your final impressions, I guess, so far?
Yeah, I believe everything here is a pretty solid improvement as far as, like, I like the stick control, so that's a good way to play the game. I certainly, all the quality of life things make it easy to recommend, especially if you haven't played it before, trying to get it, because
I am tempted. It's definitely, game. I know I said it about the Game Boy remake that they did a couple of years ago, which I didn't get, Link's Awakening. I know I said it about that, but I will probably pick this up eventually when I'm feeling like playing Zelda. I don't feel like playing Zelda right now, but I'm sure.
You might like the story of this one, too. You do love your ships.
Oh, hell yeah. I have a shipping service, according to...
Yeah. And this is, like, the most they lean into that in the series.
Yes. And it might be all we get, especially with the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer we got. So, well, yeah, exactly. But no. I do want to try it at some point. I definitely will. I'm still hoping that they put Wind Waker and Twilight Princess to Switch as well at some point. I think that those are going to be I think they are genuinely going to be the 2022 Switch Zelda games.
Yeah, they're going to be the ones that they have for the peace offering when they don't have Breath of the Wild.
We didn't make it. We're sorry. Have the fucking games we made for Wii U again. Like, literally, whenever Nintendo's like, we have no games, they're like, quickly to the Wii U bin. Let's pick something out of here that we still haven't done. Xenoblade X, fuck that one. Where's the Zeldas? Where are the Zeldas? But no, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
The Joy-Cons will be golden this time.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you those, speaking of scalpers, I bet you those Joy-Cons are being scalped for a fortune as well.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm glad that I no longer collect, like, there was a time where I kept buying Joy-Cons, and I'm glad I've stopped now. Because, man, one person does not need that many Joy-Cons. Especially as someone who's never had a Joy-Con drift. Like, you'd think with the amount of pairs I have that I would be the number one cause of Joy-Con drift. My original pair of Joy-Cons from my base Switch still work. Perfect. No drift whatsoever.
Hilariously enough, my actual, like, Joy-Cons don't drift at all yet, but one of my, like, Pro controllers did.
I have two of them as well. Like, I went all in on Switch controllers because I was like, I'll play Smash with friends, I'll play Mario Kart with friends. I have never played locally with any like people.
Two of these, and I got another one because I saw it for like $15, and this one's right stick does this now when I put too much pressure on it. So
you see, you were smart though, and you bought like the PowerA like whatever version, right? Where I was like, what's that, £70 for a Pro controller? I'll take two, thank you, Nintendo. Very cool.
I wouldn't even have gotten this first one if it weren't. My brother got me the first one for my birthday because that's when I got my Switch. I was just gonna live with sliding the Joy-Cons into the thingy.
I hated the grip, even when I didn't use my Pro.
With that.
I hate the grip. I prefer the loose hands, having one in each hand, more than I do the grip. Honestly, underrated way to play is having one in each hand.
Probably is a
genuinely
decent vibe.
It's the most underrated way to like play games on Switch. If you guys just want to chill and you literally want a potato, and I don't mean just like having your hands here. I mean like completely like slouch, arms like a kid T-posing. It's great. Literally, it's great. I played a lot of Breath of the Wild like that when I was just exploring the open world, and man, it was great. It was great. Great fun. Highly recommend. But no, let us know if you guys picked up Skyward Sword. What are you thinking? Let us know in the comments down below, or tweet us at Hot Gamers Only. Let us know what you think.
Especially if you like it, because I don't see enough people who have that opinion. Genuinely. And yeah, hopefully you're all enjoying it. I mean, say what you want about Nintendo right now. Nintendo's been releasing games this year, and it's like fair play, you know. And there's still more to come too.
3D World, Bowser's Fury. Yeah, 3D World and Bowser's Fury came out. You know, you've got this. You had Mario Golf. You've got stuff coming, and there's plenty of stuff coming later. And
their end of the year is looking really good.
It may not be like the 2017 rockets, but it's like a solid.
I mean,
2019 caliber year.
I still have this hope, this like little dream of mine that 2022 is 2017
too. 2017 again.
Because we've got Breath of the Wild is slated there, so is Splatoon 3. If we get Mario Odyssey 2 as well, I feel like we've hit the jackpot and we're eating again, boys. Let's go. Let's hope there's not as many moons this time. Like, but no. I'm glad you're enjoying Skyward Sword, and yeah, I definitely will be picking it up at some point when I feel like playing Zelda. But I've not felt like playing any video games at the moment, so which is not good for a video game podcast. It's funny how that works.
I'm telling you, dude. Just whenever you want to talk about books, I'm ready.
Hot readers only, dude. Yeah, we got hot readers only, hot watchers only for TV and film podcasts. We got plenty of stuff to go for. Yeah, let's go. Maybe that'll be what makes me watch Cowboy Bebop.
There it is.
All right.
There's the April Fool's episode.
What, hot watchers only?
Yeah.
I don't want to wait until April to have him watch the show.
Well, I mean, if we set some kind of realistic deadline, then at least it might happen.
I mean, my realistic deadline with that show is I want to have finished watching it by the time that the Netflix version comes out, so I can laugh at it. That's my dream. Is
right. There's a Netflix version.
And it's going to be terrible. I mean, there's a small part of me that hopes it's good. Like, I'm literally like, I hope it's good.
The thing with it is, conceptually, Cowboy Bebop is one that I feel like could work better than a lot of anime and live action.
Mm-hmm.
But
just with like the episodic nature of the show.
Yeah, and like its weird little like space western thing. That could work as long as you didn't be stupid about it, but I don't ever have faith in them not. I also think
it's
already been proven.
I think it also has a good chance because it's being adapted into a TV show and not into a movie. Whenever
Death Note.
Yeah,
wasted a perfectly good Willem Dafoe casting too. Willem Dafoe is Ryuk, however you say that to his name. It's like a solid choice, but.
I've never seen Death Note. I'm not edgy enough for that show. I don't know. Maybe
the best
one day.
thing I can say about Cowboy Bebop Netflix pre-release is that they got the original composer from the show.
Oh,
so
and the cast seems
there's at
solid.
least that.
The cast genuinely seems solid.
Good.
If anything's gonna fuck the show up, it's gonna be the writing. That's what's gonna fuck the show up. But hey. We'll see.
We're not supposed. The actual cast for that show was, but a few years ago, I saw like someone Photoshop Benedict Cumberbatch's face onto a Spike Spiegel cosplay, and I was like, "Oh man, that'd be great."
Oh gosh, I don't know about that one. But hey, we're not here.
Tom Holland for Spike Spiegel.
Oh no.
Yeah, I hope Tom Holland would do the same thing he did as Uncharted. He's like, "Oh, so you just finished the Uncharted movie," and then Tom Holland's like, "Yeah." Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't have been Nathan Drake. But hey, we're not here to talk about TVs and movies. We're here. Not yet. Get us to 150 subs and maybe we'll do Hot Watchers only. That just sounds creepy. Hot Watchers sounds a bit creepy.
We need a
name
like
branding.
We're in the bushes just
we
like,
need different branding.
We'll come up with something better and then we'll get Hypno to shout it out. It'll be fine. Stonks. But what we're here to talk about, because, like I said, I've been taking a break from Twitter, but one thing that got me straight back on there for like a good 24 hours was this whole Persona shenanigans that happened. Because someone messaged me. I had a friend message me on Monday. I think it was Monday, right? It was either Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember what day it was. It was Monday, I think. I don't remember.
Sure,
it was
Monday.
Someone was like, Persona's trending on Twitter, and I'm like, oh god, why is it trending? Like, not just for you, like it was trending on Twitter in the UK. I'm like, oh god, what's it done? And then they finally announced the 25th anniversary plans for Persona as a franchise. Essentially, what they have said, I'll give you guys a quick rundown if you're not in the know, that they are going to be, they're basically doing a year of Persona. They've done the pre-announcement of a year of Persona news, where we will be having between September 2021 and September 2022. They say fall 2022, but everyone data mined the website, and the final one is for September. They've already worked that out. So for one whole year, we are going to have 7 Persona-related announcements. These could be games. These could be, I don't know, anything else. If it's a Netflix adaptation, I am running for the fucking hills.
With Tom Holland as Joker.
Oh, funny you should say. I'm Joker.
Right.
Oh, shit.
I've said this, right.
Persona!
I've said this before. Persona would work as a TV show if it was done with the right people and the right place and time. But Netflix is not the right people and it's not the right place and time. Because Persona, I've said it before, Persona is set up in chapters. Literally, like, each chapter, especially if Persona 5, could be a season of a TV show. Each arc is a TV show. And you could do the same with Persona 4 and 3, I'm sure. But... no.
As opposed to trying to shotgun the whole series into 25 episodes or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like Persona 4, you could do in like 2 or 3 seasons. That's the thing with Persona 5 is like you'd want like 7 or 8 seasons, and it's like Netflix is going to cancel it after season 2, and the first 2 seasons are going to be shit. So like, why the fuck would you want that? But no, 7 whole announcements for Persona. First one is in September. Last one is in September 2022. The rest of them, who the fuck knows? The current clue that Atlas has given us is the first reveal is coloured yellow. There are also a couple of other hints and clues. There is a 6th stripe on the 25th logo that is currently white that people are assuming is for a 6th colour. They've got missing like question mark images as part of the merchandise. They have each of the Persona protagonists, including FemC and both of the P2 characters, and they just mysteriously have a question mark at the end, which just a mystery one.
Is approaching.
Which some people have said could be a group.
It's Kazuya.
Yeah, which some people said could be a group shot, and I was like, fair enough. But if that was the only evidence we'd have, then I'd be like, sure. But the second piece of evidence is they have merchandise for each of the cover arts for Persona 1 all the way through to Persona 5 Royal, and they have 2 blank slots there, and it's only the mainline releases. So even if there was a group shot in there, there's still one unaccounted for. So it's we'll talk about.
I like how they've apparently planned the second release of 6 in its cover art now too. That's hilarious.
6 Sapphire coming in 2027, guys. Look forward to it.
This reminds me of the Devil May Cry special editions.
Yeah, genuinely.
It's like we could put Virgil in here right now, but
why now? Let's wait 2 years. When the suckles will buy it again. It's great.
We'll use it to promote the PS5.
Yeah. Why not? So I guess I'll ask the boring question for you guys first. We'll talk about the other 6. We'll talk about this. Is Persona 6 the last announcement that we're getting here?
That would be what makes the most sense, because I don't imagine it would be anything more than just, it's this color and...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Right, you go, Hunter. We will talk in your stead. Be free. I should also write down what time we are on the recording so that I can edit his audio for him, because I'm such a nice friend.
He's fine.
We'll just leave the personal conversation in. That's what makes this podcast so great.
Hell yeah.
It's just Hunter shouting his social security number. I'm like, I'll keep that in. But
this is for Ethan.
I assume this final announcement's Persona 6. We've been saying for a while that it's coming. Some people think it's too early. One thing that was really pissing me off was Twitter.
Dude,
where
we knew what Joker looked like for like a million years before P5 came out.
4 years.
P5 was meant to be on the PS3 in case anyone forgot.
It was supposed to come out in 2014 as well.
It was PS3 exclusive.
It was PS3 2014. But to me, the thing is, some people have been sharing the stupid article from comicbook.com, which you already know is going to be bullshit because it's from comicbook.com.
That's like 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah, where they took a reference going, Persona 6 is now in development, and everyone took it as, this is a quote from like recently, like the past couple of months, where they said that they're building up the team to make the next Persona game because of the high expectations. But this was in 2018 or 2017 where this article is from. So they've been in development for a while. We've known it for a while. And I think 2023 doesn't seem like a stretch to me. That genuinely does seem like announce it in fall 2022, have it come out in spring or summer 2023, and just have it like that. It would make sense to me.
Gets to wait for a year.
You see,
hooray!
Do you know what's interesting?
Persona tax.
Do you know what's interesting about that, Hunter? Is Atlas West has been tweeting at the same time of all these things, which to me suggests that Sega might have finally got their fucking shit together with Atlas and been like, you're gonna fucking get in line with the rest. You're gonna get in line with the Yakuza studio and release worldwide day and date. It's 2021, guys.
I mean, they're shooting to do that with SMT, so
that is how it is. If it's happening with SMT, I think it would happen with Persona 6. I feel like Strikers was the last time we had a long drought for a Persona game in terms of Japan releasing the East and a release in the West. Yeah. My question for you guys is: we get to September 2022. Is it a tease? Is it just the color and some fucking chairs again? And see you in 2026, boomers. Or
maybe
is it something more
protagonist ready for us too?
Is it something more significant? What do you guys think? When Persona 6 gets revealed, do you think they're going to go along the Persona 5 lines and do this really slow pace? Or do you think they've learned their lesson and they're just going to be like, reveal time?
I feel like because they've kind of made a big deal of this and like taking a year to make these announcements, they would make their final one big. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't just show a teaser trailer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand what you mean there, but also I feel like even if it was just a teaser, the fans are gonna go crazy.
Well, yeah, because Persona fans are nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's like a once-in-a-decade opportunity, Kyle. Of course they go nuts, dude. Like, it's like... They eat once a fucking decade and they're like, yeah, let's go.
I wasn't even...
Hey, they can play SMT. Those games haven't gone anywhere. They choose not to.
Right, yeah, because here's the thing about SMT. And I'm already waiting for the SMT fans to go, he's going to say their shit. I'm not going to say their shit. But SMT to me is like the gameplay difficulty-oriented like version of those games where it's not necessarily about the story as much. It's about the combat and feeling like a badass and like getting beaten the shit out of you for being terrible at the video game. And the game being like, you need to learn this. Yeah, exactly. Where it's like...
And some people like that.
Yeah, that's like the classic... that's like the classic... Yeah. It's the classic JRPG fan game where the story is kind of on the backseat. It's all about the gameplay and building up your character to be the best that they can be and have the gameplay really shine. Whereas Persona is half visual novel, half
Life
RPG.
sim.
Yeah, where it's like, yeah, the gameplay matters and the gameplay's cool, but it's not supposed to be necessarily challenging. It's supposed to be more story oriented. So I like to consider SMT the more gameplay oriented and Persona the more story oriented. And, you know, so some people like me, gameplay too hard. I play for story, and if SMT's story is just like, I'm going to be like, well, I'm not going to beat my head through a fucking, like, punch the wall 20 times just to get to the end of a decent, but not, like,
Ethan
overarching
be waiting
story.
for those experience sliders for the SMT
Crank that
games.
shit up, zoom, like, off to the moon.
He's like, I know how to check them. I know how to check for them now.
Exactly, I will, and trust me, I will be checking. If Golden comes to PS4, I will be checking. But no.
Could you imagine if they took that out for the console ports?
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
It'd be hilarious. But no. I'm currently in the situation where I think it's going to be in the middle. I don't think it's going to be a Persona 5 reveal where they show a JPEG of some chairs in the color red and be like, see you in 2014, lol, maybe. I think we'll see the character. And I think we'll get the aesthetic and the color and maybe some music. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it'll be like a big blowout. Here's where you're going and here's what it looks like and here's the gameplay. I don't think it'll be that. But
Maybe
I think
it'll be something akin to like as much as the first Breath of the Wild 2 trailer showed. Enough to give you the idea.
Maybe something like that. Or maybe I'd say that maybe it's maybe
their hand.
Yeah. Or maybe they do something crazy that if it's only a year away, maybe they do what they did with Royal, where it's mainly just the intro cinematic, the intro anime thing, where they obviously have the color and it's all anime, and you don't see any gameplay because it's all just fucking weeb shit, but you get an idea of what the tone is.
Royal was like?
Yeah, well, Royal had hints of gameplay, but it was mainly the intro animation. But you had little bits of like, and there were so many cut lines in it where you had like the gun shop owner going, I heard there's something going down in Kichijoji, which he never says in the main game. Fun fact, all the lines that are in that trailer are not in the game. It's like they did those lines way too early. Very few of them are actually in the game. I think there's like one or two. But that's what I think. Hunter, where are you sitting? You think teaser? You think big reveal? You think just a color in a JPEG? What are you thinking?
I think probably along the lines of what you said makes sense, where it's, you know, not just the picture in the color, but a little bit more. See the protagonist.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So on and so forth.
Double question for you. Second question.
Hit me.
Do you think there'll be a female protagonist?
They have like an option to have one, or you think they're...
Well, that's
What
the
are we
question.
talking
Is
here?
it
Just full send.
Well, as sad as I like to think, as much as I'd like there to be a female protagonist, like just in general, right? Like, I'd like there to be a female option, but I feel like it's going to be either male or female or male because it's Atlas. Like that's what I think it's going to be. It's either going to be you pick your poison or it's male. I don't think it'll be solely female, but hey, what do you guys think? You think the option will be there? Do you think they've learned their lesson, or do you think it's just Twink number 6 rolling out?
The weird thing is, like, that's an option in P3, isn't it?
It's
portable, yeah.
P3 portable, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they never did it again. But they did romance social links forever. They did actually do all the work to pull it off. They didn't just have it like be a palette swap. But no.
I would really like for them to do it that way then, if like, because it'd be cool to see other options. Because they refuse to give you options like that for the dude. So,
do you know what? Honestly, I feel like the dream is they have the male and female protagonist options,
and you could still romance whoever you want.
No, yeah, Japan's backwards.
Japan's
Japan's backwards with that. So lock it in the Japanese version, but in the West, just uncheck the box and have all romance options available for each side, and just have it be like that.
That would be cool.
Mm.
And it I don't think it necessarily be hard because you just change you have it set up so the code base has the pronouns and stuff like that, so you don't have to have two separate like events happening. It's just changes name, changes pronouns per event based on the code and what's selected at the start. Good to go is what you'd hope.
Yeah, I imagine it wouldn't be much harder than making the text change to whatever name you give them.
Yeah, exactly. It'd just be another input on like the string or whatever. But you'd hope so. I'm of the mindset where I don't trust Atlas to do anything, and we just get another teenage guy that looks probably has a different colored hair this time. Who knows what colored hair they'll have this time?
I forget. Was it you guys I was talking to that said Persona 6 should like age up the protagonist, or
we were talking about people wanting them to like set. Ethan mentioned how the 3 is set in like a school.
Right. It's a high school, but they all like stay in the same
they live in a dorm.
Yeah,
I feel like university would still work with Persona, but and it's not necessarily that I want them to age up the characters. It's more that one, I always think it's weird that it's always second year. It's never like any other year. It's always second year. Like it's the middle year, and everyone else is staying in school, and you're leaving.
Like. You could very easily do a story where it's the last year of your high school.
You think it make more sense when you want to say goodbye at the end every time?
Yeah, like you don't even have to come up with a convoluted reason you'll only be there for a year. You could just be like at the end of the year, everyone goes their separate ways.
And I mean,
P5's ending.
In P5's defense, it did have characters that were third years, and it had characters that were first years. So it was like. P4 to me, I'm just like, stick them all in final year, because like you can just then stick Rize and Kanji in second year, and you're like, yeah, one done, like, and then people leaving makes sense, and it's like, you know, you don't have any worries in that regard. But I think it'd be interesting. The one thing that as much as I love the father figures in Persona 4 and 5, I feel like doing that 3 times in a row might start to get a bit fatigued. Like, I'd like to see the bunking in like student accommodation.
We're gonna get a mom instead of a dad.
Oh hell yeah!
No, yeah.
Oh no, I don't like where this goes anymore. I just said that out loud and thought about it for a second, and I don't like where this. And then you thought
about
anymore.
what Atlas has done at their previous track record, and you're like, oh no.
Oh, no.
You want the maid teacher? Yeah. But now you're thinking, Hunter.
If Kawakami
now you're thinking
was also like a librarian, that'd be like a weird interest jackpot.
Yeah. But no, I'd like to see them just change any little thing. It's gonna be. The most interesting thing to me is gonna be setting. That's genuinely the most interesting part to me. Is where is this game set? Because
Good job, Kyle.
You're right, Kyle. You won. Well done. Congratulations. You won the quiz. Here's your brand new car. What a great answer.
Wow.
I mean, like, because, you know, Persona 4 was small rural town. Persona 3 was kind of a city. Kind of a city, but it was very limited in where you could go because it was a PS2 game. Persona 5 was, here's the whole of Tokyo.
A bigger city.
Yeah. And I'm like, what will 6 do? Like, because will it go back to its small town roots? Will it do multiple places? Will it do
floating city in the sky?
Floating city in the sky?
That's the only thing that could get. That's the only thing left.
They're going to
or underground bunker. Pick one.
Pick one.
The moon.
The moon.
The moon. But no, I think the setting will be interesting once we know.
Tsushima.
No, bad Hunter, bad. But I think it'll be interesting because once we know where it's set, I feel like we'll get an idea of how all this fits together. I think it'll be interesting. But for now, it's fun to speculate. Final question on Persona 6 before we talk about the other 6 releases and what the hell they could possibly be.
Oh, right. There's more to this topic.
Yeah. Final
Kyle,
fun game that we can laugh at in a year's time. Let's guess the color. What's the color, guys? Anyone want to go first?
Have they done purple yet?
Technically, it's 2 is purple, right? Technically.
1 or 2.
Is it?
Yeah, 1 or 2. But 1 or... Yeah.
But they don't
acknowledge those, so I feel like that
so...
color's still up for grabs.
Yeah, I feel like
also,
purple's still on the table. I would like purple, so I'm going to answer
Isn't 2
purple.
red as well as 5? So yeah,
It's more like a burgundy.
Oh, we're talking semantics now. We're like, yeah.
Dude. This is like when my sister
fine
then,
yeah.
Maroon, and she's like, it's burgundy.
Fine. I'm gonna guess that the Persona 6 color is
fine.
lilac. You happy now, Kyle? Is that different at all?
Yeah. Persona 6's color is crimson.
Let's see.
Violet.
Persona 5 Reddit, SMT1 white/gray, P2 red/black, 3 is blue, 4 is yellow, 5 is red/black.
So they've used right. I'd like it to be purple just because purple's my favorite color.
That would be rad.
Good color.
I think it's one. Obviously, on the 25th they have a white band because I don't think they want to give away the color. I think it'd be a really funny play if it was white. I think that'd be a really funny play where people thought that they were just going to insert a color later, and it's like, no, it is white. That's the color, and it's just like that's interesting. If not, I feel like green's the obvious one, but I don't want green. I don't know why. It's just like...
It depends on what color green they use.
Yeah, some green can be really ugly. Sometimes, like,
there's a lot.
Like if I had a main menu that just kind of looked like the menu for EY's shop, I could live with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there are so many ugly greens because they could use like neon, or they could use like the murky browny greens, and it's like it's a hard ground to find. But no, I feel like green's likely. That's my guess. I guess I'll go with green. If you're going with purple, Hunter, I'll go with green. Kyle.
And I'm gonna say orange because you guys took all the colors.
Orange.
That's all of the colors, all 2 of them.
All 2 of the colors. Well, they used gold and blue, so I guess we're out. Like, yeah, gold, yellow, and blue. So there you go. The only colors left are purple, green, and orange.
What are the other
brown? I guess it's gonna be shit brown.
Chartreuse.
Macaroni and cheese.
Let's go. But yeah, other than Persona 6, you've got the 6 other announcements. Everyone believes that the first one's going to be golden on Switch and PS4. That's what everyone assumes. Has anyone got any quirky ideas? Because it's yellow, so we assume it's Persona 4 related. Does anyone?
Yeah, it's Persona Q.
I think
about it, big brain.
Right.
Get those games off the 3DS.
This was going to be one of my predictions for later. I was like, Persona 1 and 2 are going to get represented, but they're going to do a Q3 and it's going to be about Persona 1 and 2. Because they've done the mashup of 3 and 4 and then 3, 4, 5, and then they go and do 1 and 2. That's what my guess would be.
Imagine representing them, but also segregating them to the games that nobody played.
Don't mix them with 3, 4, and 5. Just have them just be 1 and 2 only. You stay in your corner.
Persona 1 and 2 are just second-class citizens in this series, apparently.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for the genuine fans of Persona 1 and 2.
I would give them a chance if I could
if
get my
Atlas
hands
let
on
us
them
give
without
them a
turning it into a
chance.
scavenger
Yeah, exactly,
hunt.
but they don't. They just leave them there.
Shut
for
up,
a
Ethan.
while.
You have a PlayStation Classic.
Pardon? Oh wow, I get
You can
Persona
play Persona 1 anytime you
I
feel
get
like.
Persona 1, hooray. Just 2 and 2 to go, which are available on bullshit. Nothing.
Nowhere.
And you need
Nowhere.
different versions to have it translated.
It's like fucking Pokemon. It's like
Are
6
they on the
million
Vita
versions.
store? Like the Vita
No.
TV store?
One of them is, because only one of them was
Hell
translated into English, and I think it was Persona 2-2. Hell yeah, let's go. No 2-1 allowed. So yeah, does anyone else think anything? Do you think there could be anything else Persona 4 related? I thought it would be. I thought it would be funny. I thought about it beforehand. What if it was people are expecting Persona 5 Arena? I was like, what if it was just a
If it was a
remaster
port
of
of
Persona 4
Arena?
Arena Ultimax with Persona 5 characters in it? Was what I
That'd be pretty
thought.
rad.
Potentially.
Yeah, that would
Be a big
that would-
roster.
If they added the P5 characters, it'd be almost like accomplish the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Potentially. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I feel like there's gonna be an arena. I feel like that's
I
a
do
solid
too.
shout.
It's free real estate.
I mean, my dream here is that everything gets represented by something. So if you got the 4 golden port to PS4 and Switch, finally, you got the 5 Arena as like a final spin-off for Persona 5. Well, for now, before they do another dancing game or something stupid, which I'll be there day one for. Don't you worry. And then Persona 3. My dream for Persona 3 is that they do a port of FES with team-based combat actually in there, controllable team available on everything. That's like a dream. Get Persona 3 in a state where people can play it without suffering. And I mean, Persona 2 and 1 ports would also be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would enjoy that. Just
like, I don't, yeah.
Game preservation.
I would love,
Mhm.
preserve video games. I would love to try them if it was accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. It's just, especially 2. 2 is the one. Like, at least with Persona 1, you know where it fucking is, right? It's just like, good luck getting a copy, but you know where it is. 2, you've got to like fucking do a doctorate's worth of research to fucking find out how to play those video games. And it's not fun.
And then you get to go on a scavenger hunt.
Yeah. And then you go on Twitter and then everyone's mocking you going, fuck you, play Persona 2, it's easy, guys, it's easy. Best game in the franchise.
And then doing all that work to play this game that's probably very archaic and a lot of people probably wouldn't find worth the trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like remakes, but I just don't see it happening.
I mean, even if
I
they
would
want to do
settle
like
for just
a 1
I would
and
settle
2
for a
bundle.
ROM dump.
Yeah.
Same. Like I said, I still think if they ever remake any of them, I still think they're gonna remake 3. I still think that's the one that they'd remake if they go and remake one of them.
Because 3 would still appeal to like the Persona 5 audience it got.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas 1 and 2 are a lot more not Persona.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem.
I've seen like the way that they look. It looks like the walking around sections of the first Danganronpa.
Yeah,
just traveling through hallways. I'm like,
and the fog. There's fog everywhere. Yeah, it's a bit motion sicky. But no. Yeah.
So a remake of those ones would take like a lot of effort, probably.
I still think Persona 3 would also be a really tall order to do a remake of. Because
but I feel like the actual like skeleton for what you need.
100%, and it'd appeal to the Persona 4 and 5 fans where the franchises mainly come from. So, I agree. It's just like the biggest question for me, if I was in those shoes, was what the fuck do we do with Tartarus? Because new players are gonna find Tartarus the most boring fucking thing ever. But if we make it like an actual massive
super giant, can we have your Tartarus?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because it's like either new fans will be bored as shit doing randomly generated floors for fucking years and years of their life, and I feel like old P3 fans would be pissed if they turned it into an actual like dungeon with a load of floors that are actually scripted and stuff like that. So it's like it'd be a really hard thing to win in a weird way.
And also, like, Tartarus is so interwoven with the narrative that you can't really change it from how it was in base P3.
Yeah. Unless you had to do unless you did a load of rewriting and stuff like that and changing the concept in a way.
To be as little spoilery as possible, you need to...
Holy shit. There was a moth that landed on me and I wonder what the fuck it was. Oh my god, I just had a heart attack. Oh, okay, carry on, Cal. Carry on.
Like, to be as little spoilery as possible, you do need to clear all of Tartarus to beat the game.
Yeah.
Like, the final boss is at the top of Tartarus.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And they go out of their way to say, like, Tartarus changes every night. And it's like... So...
Unless they want to just put, like, more checkpoints in, where people can just dip in and out wherever and come back to it. Just do, like, 5 or 10 floors a night.
That genuinely... Yeah, the two ways that I can see them changing Tartarus if they were to do it was to, one, add, like, safe rooms and checkpoints throughout of it, and make it a bit more... Turn it into more of the P4 or 5 star, where it's like, you've got a certain amount of days to get here, and they make it clearer for you, and they're like, here's a bunch of checkpoints, and you go for it. Or step 2 is, like, genuinely just looking at it and going, okay, how do we make this more streamlined?
Because, like, the other thing about Tartarus is that, if I'm remembering this correctly, not all of it is opened up to you at the same time. You have to, like... It's like after every full moon boss, more of it gets opened up. So
it's like Mementos, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so it'd be like Mementos.
Yeah, so it's not like... You can just climb as much of it as you want right at the start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat Ganon in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting one to try and figure out. But knowing Atlas, they're not even going to bother anyway.
Touch it.
And they're just going to remaster the fucking PS2 version and not even add in player controls. It's going to be great. It's just going to be like, yeah, roll the
somehow
dice,
make the answer worse.
Yeah. Not controlling the other team members is what adds to the depression of P3. Have fun, guys. Have fun.
God.
We've decided
it does.
It's a feature.
To fully realize our creative vision, we're going to take control away from you entirely. You don't even get to control your main character.
This is just a movie.
I'd rather watch.
Like, oh, great. I loved Final Fantasy 13.
The opening credits just say directed by Hideo Kojima.
I'd play it. I'd play it. That'd be great. What a riot. But no. So obviously the 7 announcements. Do you guys have any idea? Obviously, I don't think this moth is massive. I obviously don't think that every announcement on the list is going to be a game, right? I don't think we're getting 7 fucking games here. So, what non-game announcements do you think are going to be a part of this? If you could have a guess, if you could look into the future.
An anime for Royal.
Yeah.
Please make it better. Make it better than
You see,
5.
the problem
Please.
is that if they did it, it would probably be similar to what they did with Golden.
No.
But
Boo.
I would love for them to just redo the game with the royal plot, or redo the anime with the royal plots, and make the animation actually, good.
How would you
tolerable to the eyes?
How would you feel about a movie that covers the royal stuff? Like, they just introduced Kasumi after the fact, like after all of the end of base P5.
The thing is it could work because the end of the actual... I'm sorry, I'm far away. The moth is literally under my desk and it's attacking me and I hate my life. The way that the anime kind of worked was the main episodes ended at the point where... the big reveal
the big twist.
Without spoiling it for people that haven't played P5. So you could very much have it be between the 2 OPs because the final sections of the story are between the 2 final like OP volumes, which are like 45 minutes each. So you could have it there. I don't know how well it would fit though. I don't know. It's a weird one. I'd like to see it, but at the same time, I don't want them to half-arse it. And also, the P5 one wasn't particularly amazing. Like,
you see, this is their chance to make the P5 one, good though. At the same time, if they were to just
if they redid it again,
do all of it, instead of just.
It's a possibility.
Kasumi there.
I'd like them to, but man, you just saw it.
I think I did, yeah.
Leave me alone.
Oh, Hunter's gonna go get it.
Oh, thank you, Hunter.
There you go.
My hero.
Oh, he got you a tennis racket.
You got me a tennis racket? Hell yeah.
It's a bug zapper.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know where this thing is. Like, genuinely, no clue. Look out for it on my webcam, guys. It's gone to shit already. But no,
every time I see it, I'll just take a swing.
I would like them to do it, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. Or if they do, it'll be
a lot of what I was saying. It was wishful thinking. If they do it, it's going to be like what they did for Golden.
Mm-hmm. And that's the worst case scenario because the Golden stuff is like, like it kind of just tries to shoehorn it in.
The things that they were working with in that were kind of anyway. Like at least if they did that with like Kasumi, that'd be the quality there.
The story, the added story was actual substantial in Royal, whereas in P4 it's just like. I don't hate the extra story that they did in Golden, but it's like, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't mean that the base game is all of a sudden inferior or whatever. I'm just like, it's an added little bonus, I guess, but still, P4 is still cool on its own. One thing that I know that Japanese developers love to do, which I think will be one of the announcements, is a fucking orchestra tour. I feel like that'll be one where they do a Music of Persona tour. Again, I feel like that'll be an announcement where they'll be like, and you can listen, like, and if they eventually, with hindsight, they'll be like, you can, they'll get your first listen of music from Persona 6 or whatever, where they play, like, the one song that was in the trailer, and everyone will be like, yeah, it was like one song that was in the trailer. So, I feel like an orchestra event will be something that they announce. That seems like it always happens. It happened with Kingdom Hearts. It happened with Final Fantasy VII. It happens with everything. I feel like every time that they're like, it's the 25th celebration. The Zelda orchestra. You just add it. You just add it to the list. You're like, yeah, you're gonna do an orchestra. Cool. Love to see it. I don't. Oh. Hello.
I'm up here now.
Sorry about that. My computer,
What happened?
My computer had, like, a stroke.
Oh.
You said orchestra tour, and then it went...
Okay.
And then I couldn't hear anything anymore.
Maybe it was the moth. Maybe it's fighting back. But yeah, any other ideas for any weird things?
I'd be so down for an orchestra tour of the Persona.
Yeah, but knowing us, it'll be in Japan only, and it'll be like, yeah, great.
Oh, well, dude, I will swim there.
Off to Japan we go. We'll add it on our tour and we go and fucking bonk No More on the head for his wacky ideas.
For his crimes against humanity.
Yeah. I don't know. Any other ideas? Anime's a decent shout. I know they already do like a manga version of Persona as well, so that won't be an announcement. Fuck off, Moth. Fuck off, Moth. Fuck off, Fuck off, Moth. Fuck off, Moth. We should wrap this up because the Moth is getting angry and I'm very scared. Any others?
I can't think of anything. You guys pretty much hit the two things I would say.
Other weird things that
they already announced the merch, so it's like that's not an announcement. Merch would be 100% an announcement.
Like, oh man, special T-shirt.
Yeah.
Special statues.
Yeah, I honestly like they could do anything. They could like announce another random P5 spin-off that isn't Arena for all I know and just be like, yeah, you wanted Arena, well, too bad you're getting this.
Kart racers.
You're getting kart races, yeah.
I'd be down.
I unironically would be too.
I mean, Mario Kart's never coming back at this rate, so...
No, Mario Kart's gone.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, they executed Mario, so...
It's true. He's gone.
And Crash Team Racing had its fill.
Yeah.
And then,
we need something else now.
Hates fun.
But no, that's the thing is, like, if we add the anime thing, Hunter, and we add the Persona, the orchestra, that would still leave 5 announcements. Royal and Persona 6, and that is that. So you still got 3 announcements there, and you're like, that's 1 for 5, 1 for 3, and 1 for 1 and 2, and it's like you could like, I feel like Persona 1 and 2 fans are crying. I still think they'll bundle those two together if there's an announcement about them because don't get the wrong idea. They may have shown the characters as part of the artwork, but they still don't love them. Atlas is like, we did this
They're
for you.
not marketable.
Yeah, they're not marketable. Oh, right.
I love Ethan's panic.
Yeah, you see, I
Just
feel
like
like...
he
Do you know what would be
tenses
funny?
up.
Do you know what would be funny? We're going to do it, right? We're actually going to do it. You guys...
We're
Come
gonna
up with
execute a
topic
moth.
No, you guys talk. You guys have a topic of conversation, and I'll for video exclusive. You two have a topic of conversation for the audio listeners, and me for the video users. I will try and get rid of this moth, and we'll see how it goes.
God, man,
Good
this
luck,
is gonna
guys.
go on for so long.
I'm gonna put a timestamp on.
This was a mistake, Ethan.
I'll give myself 3 minutes. If I don't get it with 3 minutes, then I'll come back. But here we go, guys. Let's go.
Oh boy.
Moth kill
Alright.
percent.
All right.
What do
I'm
you
not gonna
got,
kill it. I'm gonna
Hunter?
try and capture it.
What do you want to talk about, Kyle?
How did you feel? So, audio, well, everybody, because this was off recording and everything. Hunter and I did some share play the other day, and we
originally
we played Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the PS4.
Oh, yeah. It was amusing for sure. Originally, I was gonna beat Final Fantasy VII Remake for him.
Oh yeah,
but blocked scenes make you not allowed to have fun, apparently.
Correct.
So I couldn't do that for him. He'll have to eventually do that himself.
I'll get there eventually. I just didn't really care for the final segment or anything that came before that. Hunter played through all of Genova, or what's his name? Hojo. Yeah.
Does it let you adjust the difficulty whenever you want, or are you locked to one when you
Honestly, I haven't looked.
That might be something to look into, because you could just... Apparently easy is too easy, according to video game journalists. So you could just slide that down if you wanted and sneeze through.
Well, apparently I'm worse than video game journalists.
I don't think you're playing on easy, so...
I don't know.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call.
Oh boy, it's just...
Oh, well. Oh, well.
I was gonna say,
anyway,
it's just Kyle's show. Hell yeah.
The share play stuff on Marvel vs. Capcom. My friend got that game back when it came out on the Xbox, and I played it for a little bit, but I never put any extenuous amount of effort into it. I feel like I did better playing with you than I ever did playing that. Wow, that is going on for a while. Than I ever did playing that one. As far as the actual functionality of the share playing and the multiplayer goes, though, it was fine.
Because Hunter was basically playing over like an internet connection, so I don't know like if there was any lag for him or not, or input delay or anything.
There was not really. The only weird thing that happened was like if I would hit him in the air.
We got it.
Good job, Ethan. If I would hit him in the air, it would the camera would follow him instead of stay locked to both people. So, that would happen, and sometimes I'd just be firing blind. But it would be okay because Dante's moves are great.
Oh, it's true. It's just like original Devil May Cry. You can click buttons and end up doing something cool.
It was amazing a few times where I don't think I ever came from behind and won with my silly antics, but there were a few times where I strung together combos that felt very Devil May Cry-esque.
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up doing better than I thought I was going to end with that.
Which, like, for the fact that his moveset was based on DMC 1 and 3 and nothing else, like...
You really chose the 5 minutes to talk about DMC, you fucking nerds, I swear to God.
Hey, you don't know what we talked about here.
Anyway,
yeah,
I'll let you
carry on. It could have been anything. Nah, dude. We were basically done.
You sure?
Yeah.
I don't know, Hunter, any more final thoughts?
I mean...
What's your first impressions on Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
It was okay.
It
seems like a more what am I looking for here? It seems a little more simplistic than a lot of other fighting games as far as I'm sure a lot of the balance probably comes from like the mixing and matching of the team lineups.
Oh yeah.
But as far as like actual inputs and stuff, it seems a bit more simple than a lot of other fighting games that aren't like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Dogs on
it's a lot like
Yeah.
Blaze Blue or BB Tag where your special moves are all done with just quarter circle inputs, either forward or backward.
The classic.
Oh yeah, sorry, Ethan, didn't mean to scare you.
It's almost as scary as the moth.
I was halfway expecting Ethan to hiss like he did that one time I brought up Danganronpa. Yeah, exactly.
No. No, I hope you had fun talking about Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I got it, but man, it was hard work. I was running everywhere. Yeah. Did you see me? Did you see me like running around everywhere? Like the thing would not stop.
A little bit, yeah.
I saw the moth enter the frame a few times.
Yeah, it came over here, and I was like, look, bastard, stealing my spotlight. It's my podcast.
Hello and welcome to Hot Gamers Only. I am Mr. Moth.
Yeah, he's literally stumbling into
I can't
frame.
believe
You
we
should
got
check out
Mothman
Chaotic
on the
Ether's podcast.
My favorite persona.
Exactly, Mothman. The Moth.
Dude, I just want a Mothman plushie. Fuck it, that's my persona, not game related thing. Just give me a Mothman plushie.
There we go. Yeah, I said.
And like a Yerlunger neck pillow.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Dude, give me a Matador figure.
Oh.
Good shouts. Obviously, I'm sure, because SMT5 has been redesigning some of the persona, the mythical creatures. I guess I don't know what to call them. Demons.
I think they're just called demons.
Yeah.
They've been redesigning some of them, so maybe some of those designs will sneak their way into Persona as well. Some of the new designs are really cool, actually. If you haven't checked them out, they've been releasing some new ones on Twitter and such. And just on, like, basically, if you just type in SMT5, you'll find them. They're pretty cool. But yeah, with that, I guess that's been our show. It's been a bit chaotic, especially near the end. But hey.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. It's fine.
I love the chaotic energies that we bring.
Only on this podcast would one of the hosts go, you guys talk, I'm going to catch a moth. And be like, yeah. Like,
in a jar. And
luck.
A note card.
It was a note card and a glass, actually. It was a pint glass. Close. It wasn't a jar. It was a pint glass.
Potato.
It's true, yeah.
They both hold liquid.
Yeah, true. You got a point. But no, thank you so much for listening and watching this week. As always, our links are on screen now. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and all that jazz. As always, if you want to keep up to date with everything Hot Gamers Only, you can go and follow us on Twitter. You can subscribe to both the YouTube channels at youtube.com/hotgamersonly. And if you want to listen to us instead of looking at our stupid faces, you can find us on your favorite podcast services in the Linktree description, where you can find us on your favorite services such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this extra spicy 69th episode of the HGO podcast. It's been a fun one. I've had a good time.
Now we just wait for episode 420.
It's a long way away.
Oh, baby.
Like, I wonder if we will ever make it. That's like one of those ones that's like so far in the future. I'm like,
we will have passed the podcast on to a different cast.
We gave it to Jeopardy.
It's just like, imagine like if we got to 400, like it's like where would we be? It's like families, like fucking just in different countries, like anywhere. Who knows what we could be? Hunter could just literally be like in a different universe. Who knows what Hunter's gonna do? But yeah,
it's just like a post-apocalyptic world, and Hunter's just walking around with his plague doctor mask.
Hunter survived. The rest of us didn't, but Hunter survived. And he's still talking about video games every week.
And now he's just carrying on the spirit of the podcast on a radio.
That sounds like something that you would hear in like one of the Fallout radios.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does actually. It does. But yeah, thank you so much for listening this week. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But yeah, until then, have an awesome week, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.